We're now also live on Spreaker to our Spreaker audience. Good evening. This is the Rebellious Rev, and with me is
the Doc, as usual, Friday night.
All right, now we've got everybody on. We've got Spreaker on. We've got Blog Talk Radio.
You know, I heard you talking about Sarah Palin. I have to say, she was not exactly a welcome endorsement by some of Trump's supporters. And I'm not talking about well-known people, famous people, people with money. I'm talking about the people who go to his rallies, you know, just ordinary people, everyday people. You know, this is probably the best thing to happen to Sarah Palin since she was dropped by Fox News. The
analysts say it was brilliant on Donald Trump's part to do it now because they're hoping that'll raise his numbers in Iowa, where I guess he's very close with Cruz, and they think there's a good chance that this would actually knock Cruz out of the race completely.
Well,
that they're going for the juggler now. They're going for him now, trying to get rid of him.
Well, but then I heard, on the news before I came here today, before I got to the studio, that in Las Vegas, people aren't very high on Trump. They think he bloviates too much. They think he's very short on policy. And he was planning to do well out west, so who knows? I don't know.
He hasn't been out there selling himself yet. It seems to once he gets out to an area and starts talking, he just resonates with the people.
Well, he's not gonna bring out John McCain. John McCain is not gonna be backing Trump anytime soon.
You think? Yeah, well.
And by the way, did you hear that the National Review or the National Standard, I'm not sure which one it was, but a bunch of conservative pundits, Glenn Beck, Bill Kristol, just to name a couple, they all took out advertisements, putting Trump down. They're trying to do anything they can to defeat him, to get him. They just don't want to see him as the standard bearer for the Republican Party.
Because they know he's probably not as conservative as...
Well, today Cruz was interviewed and he happened to say a few things, that obviously Donald Trump is not as conservative as he would like people to think. But by the same token... Shepard on Fox News, the guy you used to watch. I forgot his first name. But anyway, he was interviewing Trump a few months ago and talking about his immigration stance. And, not Trump, Cruz. And Cruz is very wishy-washy about that. Cruz said originally, he was not, Shepard tried to say that he was in favor of the pathway to citizenship. And he says, no, he never was. And it's like Jon Stewart on The Daily Show used to do, let's go to the videotape. And they played a videotape of Cruz. And Cruz said exactly that, these people should come out of the woodwork, and I want to make them have a path so they can become legal, blah, blah, blah. So this is, again, this was one of Trump's ads against Cruz. So
plus Trump was answered about the National Review saying that the newspaper is desperate. Their circulation is down.
Right. He said, who reads it?
And
it's not the same newspaper that it was when William F. Buckley founded it back in, I guess, the either the late 50s or the early 60s. And of course, then a couple of pictures of Trump in the newspaper clutching his Bible.
There was I don't know who was talking about him, and he said, I never liked Trump, and he goes, but me, like everybody else, every damn thing I thought about Trump was always wrong. I said when he was talking about the Mexicans and all that, and not letting him, he thought that would be the end of Trump. When it came to
every time
Muslims,
his numbers always went up after that.
He said when he spoke about
John McCain,
he thought it'd go down.
I don't like prisoners of war who get wounded, or get captured. I mean, hey,
I have no idea what that means.
I don't know either, but
the guy says by now he says I give up. I'm not trying to figure it out anymore.
Trump should have died about a dozen times already. His campaign, I mean, not Trump.
Yeah.
But every time he opens his mouth and he says something that most regular people would say is stupid and asinine, I just don't know what to say.
Well, basically, people are so frustrated with the government as we know it.
Well, you see, listen to what they're saying. They're saying we have to get I'm laughing because I'll tell you why. We have to get Obama out of the White House. Now, one of the journalists on one of the programs I watched said,
we are. He's gone.
The Constitution did that for you. He can only serve 2 terms. So it's not like you get defeating him. He's not up for election again.
Well, I guess,
and of course, everything that's still happening is all his fault. According to Palin, the fact that her son has PTSD and other troops have PTSD is because of multiple deployments. Yet, who is it who wants the boots on the ground? It's the Republican Party that keeps saying we need to send more.
Nobody's saying boots on the ground. I mean, really. The Republicans or Democrats.
They want to put boots in Syria. They want to go in. I mean, look,
No, they're talking about some special forces. Nobody's talking about putting any number of troops on the ground.
Hey, listen. Anytime, even for special forces, the bottom line is there's still boots on the ground, aren't they?
We're doing it now.
They're going into harm's way.
We're doing it now.
Well,
come on. We've been doing it forever. We never stopped doing all the special forces.
But you can't blame that on Obama. It's the nature of the armed forces. This is what happens.
It doesn't matter. You blame whoever you want because people believe, people will listen to what they want to listen to, and the people will hear what they want to hear. No matter what you say, they're going to hear only what they want to hear.
Very true, but like one journalist said, I certainly hope that the one good thing that comes out of Sarah Palin being back in the limelight again is that Tina Fey may do some guest appearances on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that was funny.
So, I mean, I'd love to see that. In fact, you could probably figure that tomorrow night she might just make an appearance because, when they introduce the show, they always talk about something that happened during the week.
Yep.
Well, unless they have somebody who's going to play Sarah Palin from the regular cast, I'm sure they've already worked it out with Tina Fey to come on and.
That's a really quick turnaround to get her on.
If she's not doing anything, I mean, she lives in Manhattan, so yeah. I mean, And besides, the money is good. You can't turn down the money. And let's face it, a good entertainer, a good comedian, they live for the exposure, I
don't know. We'll find out soon enough, I guess.
Yeah, tomorrow. Unless they make the special tomorrow, when they introduce the show about the weather. because it's my understanding that Thursday into either Wednesday into Thursday or Thursday into today, Washington was hit. I mean, even the president's motorcade got stuck in traffic. Some people, they said it took 9 hours to get home from work.
Yeah. Well, it happens, I guess. I mean, down in Kentucky, they shut it down for 2 inches.
When I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, I was supposed to leave on a Monday. They shut down the Columbia airport because they had 2 inches of snow. They didn't know what to do. They were calling for snow removal up north. You know, it was really a big joke. You know, when I was down in Fort Jackson, they went from 30-degree weather, and just before I came home for Christmas, it was already 90 degrees, or at least 85 degrees. So you're talking about a 60-degree turnaround.
I don't know.
Anybody in the chat room?
Yeah, we got Elisa's having a problem getting us on the Spreaker.
Yeah, well, she's doing this against doctor's orders. That's all I have to say. She's supposed to be resting.
Well, she's resting. I don't think she's doing anything. She's just listening to the show.
Well, last I heard, she had a terrible headache, and she was supposed to be resting.
Well, you could be resting and
Well,
listening.
you know why? I told her she's going to lose her status as, an intern.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give her the login for Blog Talk Radio. Maybe that'll help her.
And ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, and I have been in touch with Chad the Challenger. We all know that the weather is blame it on Mother Nature or an act of God. And speaking of God, Chad will be joining us sometime during the next hour. I'm sure he has plenty to say about it.
Yeah, I don't know why Lisa has a little trouble logging into Blog Talk Radio. I don't know why. It's real easy.
Well, don't say easy to me. I always find these things difficult. You know, I wasn't made for modern technology.
Aha.
Yeah, I might as well, I'll share this with our listening audience. Chad was trying to get me to be able to video Skype on my smartphone. And I told him the worst thing that happened to me was when they did away with the rotary phone. But I wonder how many people listening actually remember what a rotary phone is.
I remember them.
Yeah, but you're as old as me. Or, practically.
But, the... on iPhones, there's also, which I believe you have now, right? They have a program. It's a regular program. You just dial the person, and the picture comes up for him if he has the same thing.
Well, I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is he was trying to talk me through it, and obviously I couldn't do it. But, I have to laugh because more than once I've seen on Facebook, they like to make fun of senior citizens, and they post cell phone for senior citizens, and it's a flip phone that has a rotary dial when you flip it up, A
flip phone, the rotary
with
dial?
a rotary dial, yeah.
I've never seen on a cell phone?
It's supposed to be a joke.
Oh, okay.
Somebody drew a picture, obviously, of a cell phone, but they put a rotary dial on it. And that's pretty much my speed, I really have to say.
Oh, I understand. I understand very well.
That's why, when it comes to doing this show, there's The Rebellious Rev / Felix is our technical guru, because if you let